Before we look at the goals and all of that, I want to discuss Antonio Conte. Before we went for the commercial break, you could see him running up to the players, his players, high-fiving, slapping them on the back, even doing the same to the Leeds players. We saw him trying to just get the crowd going, and when one of the goals was scored, it might have been the second one, he literally threw himself into the crowd. And I'm thinking back to what you were saying at the pre-show, before the match started, Michael, because you were there at Everton, you were covering it, you were just behind Antonio Conte. What do you make of it? How effective is it for players who are under his tutelage when this happens?
Well, there's a great point straight away. If you're playing wing back, you don't want to be. You want to be half time so you can go on the other side from him, because he'll never ever leave you alone. But it's infectious, isn't it? I tell you, who really will want to see that, the supporters. Supporters straight away will be loving that enthusiasm, that desire, the drive. Some of the players will be able to handle it, some players won't. It's that balance all the time. But what he's doing is relaying information constantly throughout the game. As you say, a couple of weeks ago at Everton, it was literally, you go here, and he's for instance saying to the wing back, you drop down another couple of metres, and it's that level of detail. He's non-stop. It's infectious, but it can obviously be a little bit too much at times if you're a player and constantly listening to that sort of information, whether you can just relax and play your own game. But listen, he's on the pitch afterwards, great results, the supporters are all high, he needed that win, he knows his team didn't play well, but will he be still doing it if it's not, when you don't get that result? Does he still come on the pitch with that same enthusiasm with an arm around him? And that's what we're going to see soon.
Do players like it, Robbo? Honestly? And I mean, you as a goalkeeper, can you actually hear the manager when he's way out at the touchline, near the halfway line?
At times, it depends how noisy the stadium is. But it's just like Brownie says, it's infectious and it spreads through the team. It's great to see. I mean, that's not an act. You can't put that on. That's just him. That's his passion. That's his desire. That's his will to win. He kicks every ball. He heads every ball. He wants to be on that pitch. He works all week in training. And when he sees things coming together, what he's done, he gets excited. He's carried away when he sees something coming. So like Emerson Royale comes round the back and the ball comes across field pass. He's told him to get in the back post. You can see Conte. You can see how excited he is because something he's worked on has worked, if you like. That you can't, it's not false. That is passion, that's desire, that's a will to win. That's what Spurs haven't had for a long time. They're like leaders on the field. You look at the first half, there's no leaders in that team. You look at the team, there's no real talkers, there's no real captain. Lloris is the captain, he doesn't lead with vocals. It's not, he's not a vocal captain. Dyer, Davis, Højbjerg, Winks, Regulian. There's no voices in that team, there's no leaders in that team. And that's what's been Spurs' downfall this season. The manager's certainly a leader and he's going to have to find some in the team as well.
You know, Brownie was just mentioning how the fullbacks, the wing-backs, will always have an earful from Antonio Conte. So before we look at the winning goal, let's go over to one of those players who might be a little bit deaf after all the shouting from Antonio Conte. Here's Sergio Reguilón.